really does feel that we're living in some kind of Orwellian nightmare now, and that everything that you hear now contributes to turning you into a robot. And when I was at Findhorn, I met this extraordinary English tree expert who had devoted his life to saving trees. Just got back from Washington, lobbying to save the redwoods. He's 84 years old, and he always travels with a backpack because he never knows where he's going to be tomorrow. And when I met him at Findhorn, he said to me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "New York." He said, "Ah, New York, yes, that's a very interesting place. Do you know a lot of New Yorkers who keep talking about the fact that they want to leave but never do?" And I said, "Oh, yes." And he said, "Why do you think they don't leave?" I gave him different banal theories. He said, "Oh, I don't think it's that way at all." He said, "I think that New York is the new model for the new concentration camp, where the camp has been built by the inmates themselves, and the inmates are the guards, and they have this pride in this thing they've built. They've built their own prison, and so they exist in a state of schizophrenia, where they are both guards and prisoners, and as a result, they no longer have, having been lobotomized, the capacity to leave the prison they've made, or to even see it as a prison." And then he went into his pocket and he took out a seed for a tree and he said, "This is a pine tree." He put it in my hand and he said, "Escape before it's too late." See, actually for 2 or 3 years now, Chiquita and I have had this very unpleasant feeling that we really should get out. And we really should feel like Jews in Germany in the late 30s. Get out of here. Of course, the problem is where to go, because it seems quite obvious that the whole world is going in the same direction. See, I think it's quite possible that the 1960s represented the last burst of the human being before he was extinguished, and that this is the beginning of the rest of the future now, that from now on there'll simply be all these robots walking around, feeling nothing, thinking nothing. And there'll be nobody left almost to remind them that there once was a species called a human being, with feelings and thoughts, and that history and memory are right now being erased, and soon nobody will really remember that life existed on the planet.
Nanobot technology in the brain and nervous system will not work to its full potential operational specs and coordinate itself with our current biology without the enormous changes to the physiology that have been taking place due to fluoridation in water, chemicals in food and drink, the spraying of the skies, mercury and other toxins in vaccinations, the electromagnetic soup due to wireless technology, radiation from microwave food, television, cell phones, nuclear disasters such as Fukushima, and so on. Most important of all, this takeover cannot work without effacing all of us from everything that we previously knew to be normal. They want to see a hive mind, in exact accordance with what the Star Trek series showed, with the cyborgs being taken over at any given moment to serve the purposes of the collective mind. At one moment, each sentient being seems to retain some semblance of what could be called individuality, and then the next moment there is nothing of the kind. They are merged into the collective to serve one purpose. That is the ultimate goal of this agenda, and they are succeeding. After the creation of AI, or artificial intelligence, that is able to authentically pass what is called the Turing test, this AI will be given the opportunity and endowment to download all of the exoteric knowledge of mankind. Does anyone really believe that any major corporation does anything with goodwill and intentions for the benefit of all without serving some ulterior and nefarious purpose? If anyone does, they have been duped, and there is no amount of evidence that will prove these facts to them anyhow. For so many, this transition will be difficult to fathom until it is too late, which is when it becomes obvious. This is not about the evolution of us, it is about the devolution of our species. A clear and concise refusal to physically merge with any form of technology is the only clear-cut method to ensuring that this takeover does not occur. If not for the majority, then at least for yourself.